How to know if you're on the wrong path in life. Life is not just about moving. It's about moving in the right direction. The worst thing you can do when you realize you're on the wrong path is to increase your speed. Running faster in the wrong direction will never take you to the right destination. Even if you are moving at 250 kilometers per hour, giving all your energy, all your effort, and all your passion, if the road is wrong, the destination will still be wrong. Sometimes the wisest and bravest decision you can make is to stop, make a U-turn, and choose the right path. It's not weakness to turn back, it's wisdom. Because no matter how far you've gone in the wrong direction, the right path will always be waiting for you. And one step on the right path is more valuable than 1,000 steps in the wrong one. So many people are moving, yet there is no real progress. You wake up every morning, you push, you grind, you pour your strength into the day. Sometimes even harder than everyone around you. You run fast, you try everything you can, but at the end of the day, your heart feels the same weight. No breakthrough, no open doors, no true fulfillment. But hear me today, this cycle will not define you. Because right now, your life is about to shift. Your story is about to find direction. If you will lean in and listen to this message until the very end, I promise you, your life will discover meaning, your steps will find alignment, and your heart will awaken to a divine purpose you've been searching for all along.
Welcome to Purpose Path TV. Here, we don't come to entertain you, we come to awaken you. We don't sugarcoat, we don't play around, we speak truth that shakes you into alignment with your destiny. In today's video, we are diving deep into a life-changing message, how to know if you are on the wrong path in life. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear might just save you years of wandering and put you back on track toward your God-given purpose. In this video, I will share with you the clear signs that show when you are on the wrong path in life. And make sure you stay till the very end, because I'm also going to reveal the signs that prove you are on the right path in life. This could be the turning point your soul has been waiting for.
The truth is this. If you recognize the wrong path signs, don't panic, that's your wake-up call. If you recognize the right path signs, don't relax, that's your encouragement to keep going. Listen, one wrong direction can cost you years, but one right step can set your destiny on fire. If you've ever felt stuck, confused, or wondered if you're truly where God wants you to be, this message will give you the clarity you need to redirect your life. If you are hungry for meaning, tired of drifting, and ready to live with divine intention, this is your channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to come closer, because I believe with all my heart that in the next few minutes, God is about to shift something inside of you. God is about to change the entire trajectory of your life. Life is not just about moving, it's about moving in the right direction. You can run fast, you can be hardworking, you can push with all your energy, but if the path you're on is wrong, speed only takes you further away from your true purpose. Many people today are busy, but not productive. They're moving, but not progressing. They're walking a road, but it's not the one God designed for their destiny. And deep inside, they feel it, the emptiness, the frustration, the sense that something is off. This message is not to condemn you, but to awaken you. Because sometimes the greatest gift is not realizing how far you've gone, but realizing where you've gone wrong and finding the courage to correct your path. If you are on the wrong road, speed will not help you. Effort will not help you. No matter how much you push forward, you will never arrive at the right destination. And this is why so many people are exhausted, frustrated, and broken. Not because they are not trying, but because they are trying in the wrong place, in the wrong way, and for the wrong reason. My friend, this is not just about movement, it's about direction. Life is not about how fast you run, but about whether you're running toward the purpose God has called you to. And today, I want to speak to your spirit, to help you discern whether the path you're on is truly the one that leads to your destiny, or if you've been running endlessly on a road that was never meant for you. This video will come in powerful sections, each one carrying a word you cannot afford to miss. Pay close attention, because in every part, you will hear God speaking concerning your destiny, your purpose, and your future. Signs you are on the wrong path. Sign number 1. The restlessness in your spirit. One of the first signs that you are walking on the wrong path in life is the restlessness deep inside your spirit. It's not the kind of tiredness you feel after a long day's work. It's not even ordinary stress. It's that deep inner unease, that quiet whisper inside you saying, "This is not it. This is not where you belong." You may look successful to people on the outside. You may even be surrounded by applause, comfort, or money. But deep within, there's a void that refuses to be filled. You toss and turn at night. You wake up every day, yet something feels off. That inner restlessness is not random, it's often God, through your spirit, pulling you back to the right path. God told Jonah to go to Nineveh, but Jonah ran the opposite way. Even though he thought he had escaped, his spirit wasn't at peace. That restlessness grew until it shook the ship he was on. The storm around him was simply a reflection of the storm inside him. Sometimes, the chaos in your life is just an echo of the restlessness in your soul. At first, the prodigal son thought he was living his best life. He had money, friends, freedom. But when he was far from his true purpose, his spirit grew restless. It wasn't just the famine that made him return home, it was the emptiness inside. That restlessness became the very force that pushed him back to the Father. Moses was raised in Pharaoh's palace. He had comfort, riches, and power. But deep down, he was restless because he wasn't walking in his true calling. He knew he wasn't made just to sit in the palace, there was something greater. That restlessness eventually pushed him into the wilderness, where God would shape him into a deliverer. A man working in a high-paying corporate job but crying silently at night because he knows he was meant to build something of his own. Everyone says, "You've made it," but he feels unfulfilled. That restlessness is proof he's not yet in his true assignment. Restlessness in your spirit is not a curse. It's a signal from heaven. It's God saying, "I did not create you for this lane. Shift." If you ignore it, you'll keep living half-empty. But if you listen to it, that restlessness will guide you toward your true path. Sometimes God allows you to feel uneasy, not because He wants to punish you, but because He wants to redirect you. Don't silence that voice with distractions, addictions, or busyness. Lean into it. Ask God, "Why do I feel this way? Where do you want me to be?" The truth is, peace is the language of alignment, and restlessness is the language of redirection. Sign number 2. Doors keep closing for a reason. Sometimes in life, you don't need a prophet to tell you that you're walking the wrong road, your experiences already speak. One of the loudest signs that you're not on the right path is when every door you try to open keeps slamming shut. No matter how much effort you pour in, no matter how many times you knock, it feels like the answer is always no. It's not because you're not smart. It's not because you're not hardworking. Sometimes, it's because God Himself is redirecting you. Closed doors are not punishments, they are protection. Think about Paul in Acts 16. The Bible says Paul wanted to preach in Asia, but the Spirit of God forbade him. Every time he tried to enter a new city, the door closed, until God gave him the vision of a man in Macedonia saying, "Come over and help us." That's when he realized, closed doors are divine redirections. Maybe you've been applying for a job in a particular company, and no matter how qualified you are, rejection letters keep coming. Maybe you're forcing a relationship, but everything keeps breaking down, arguments, betrayals, emptiness. Or maybe you're trying to start a business in an area where God never called you, and nothing seems to work. At first, it feels frustrating, even painful. But what if God is actually saying, "My child, that is not your place. I have something better, something greater, but you're too focused on this dead end to see it." Closed doors are not always failures. They are God's way of saving you from wasted years, unnecessary pain, and dangerous detours. If the doors in front of you keep closing, don't see it as rejection, see it as direction. Sometimes God closes the good doors so that the right door can open. Don't curse the closed doors, thank God for them. Because one day you will look back and say, "Now I understand why it didn't work out." God had a better plan all along. Sometimes we blame the devil, but in truth, it is God shutting doors that don't lead to our destiny. If you keep forcing opportunities that never work, maybe it's not rejection, it's redirection. Sign number 3. When success feels like failure. Sometimes, one of the clearest signs that you are on the wrong path in life is when what looks like success on the outside feels like failure on the inside. You have the applause of men but no peace in your spirit. You achieve the goals you thought you wanted, but deep down, it feels empty, hollow, and meaningless. There is a dangerous kind of success outside of purpose. It is possible to climb the ladder of life, only to realize it was leaning on the wrong wall. King Saul was tall, handsome, and celebrated as Israel's first king. He won battles, wore the crown, and had everything men called success. Yet, because he was outside God's will, he lived with torment and insecurity. The Bible says, "The Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit troubled him." Outwardly, he had success. Inwardly, he had failure. The prodigal son, when he left his father's house, he had money, friends, and the freedom he thought was success. But soon, his wealth ran out, and he found himself feeding pigs, realizing that what looked like a breakthrough was actually a breakdown. King Solomon had wisdom, riches, women, and fame. Yet in Ecclesiastes, he cried out, "Vanity of vanities, all is vanity." What the world called success, he called emptiness because it was not aligned with God's eternal purpose. A celebrity with fame but no peace. Many people in Hollywood or the music industry reach the peak of recognition, wealth, and influence, yet die young from depression, drug abuse, or suicide. Why? Because success without alignment to God's purpose is still failure. Some men give everything to climb the corporate ladder, yet end up with broken marriages and children who don't know them. Outwardly, they succeeded. Inwardly, they failed. Many young people pursue careers because of pressure or money. They graduate, land jobs, and earn salaries, but every morning, they wake up with heaviness in their hearts. That is success that feels like failure. Success is not defined by possessions, positions, or people's approval. It is defined by purpose. You can't call it success if it takes you away from peace, from God, and from meaning. True success is when your heart, your calling, and your Creator are in agreement. That is why Jesus said in Mark 8 verse 36, "What shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul?" When what looks like success begins to feel like failure, don't ignore it. That inner emptiness may be God's way of redirecting you back to your true path. Real success is when your soul and your assignment are in harmony. Sign number 4. The voice you've been ignoring. Sometimes, the greatest indicator that you are on the wrong path is not the noise around you but the whisper within you. God speaks, but many times His voice is not thunderous. It's a gentle nudge, a quiet conviction, a persistent thought you can't shake off. When you ignore that voice long enough, confusion becomes your companion, and emptiness becomes your daily bread. Recall King Saul. God instructed him through Samuel not to spare anything of Amalek, but Saul ignored the instruction and followed his own desires. The voice of obedience was clear, but Saul's pride silenced it. That single act of ignoring God's voice cost him his throne and destiny. How many times have you felt uneasy about a decision, but you still went ahead because it looked good? Maybe you took a job that promised money but left you empty inside. Maybe you entered a relationship everyone clapped for, but deep down you felt God whispering, "This is not it." Later, the same thing that looked like a blessing became your greatest burden. A young man once shared how he had the opportunity to join a business deal that seemed very profitable. Inside, he felt restless. Something told him it wasn't right. But he ignored that inner voice. Months later, the deal collapsed, his money was gone, and his peace was shattered. He said, "I wish I listened to that small voice." The truth is, God doesn't always shout, He whispers. He doesn't always push, He nudges. And if you are on the wrong path in life, the loudest alarm is often the quietest voice within you. That voice is your reminder, your warning, your compass trying to pull you back to the right road. So, if you keep ignoring that inner conviction, you're not silencing God, you're silencing your future. Listen. The voice you've been ignoring could be the key to unlocking your true destiny. Friend, listen, ignoring God's whisper only makes the detour longer. The sooner you surrender, the sooner you step into destiny. Sign number 5. The weight you carry. Sometimes, the clearest sign that you are on the wrong path is not in what you are doing, but in what it is doing to you. Life has a way of speaking through the burdens you carry. Yes, every journey has challenges, but there is a difference between the weight that refines you and the weight that destroys you. One makes you stronger, the other breaks your soul. Think about King Saul. When God rejected him because of his disobedience, 1 Samuel 15, Saul still wore the crown, but he carried a weight he was never built to carry anymore, the weight of disobedience and rejection. He became paranoid, insecure, and tormented by evil spirits. The throne looked like success, but the burden became unbearable because he was outside of God's will. Contrast that with David. David also carried weight. He ran from Saul, hid in caves, lived in exile, but his burden was different. It was the weight of preparation, not destruction. One was carrying the weight of being out of God's will, the other, the weight of becoming God's chosen vessel. Look at people who chase careers, money, or relationships that God never called them to. On the outside, they look successful. They drive the cars, live in the houses, and wear the brands. But when they close their doors at night, their hearts are heavy. Anxiety fills their chest. Depression whispers in the silence. The weight they carry is not the discipline of growth, it is the burden of being on the wrong path. I once heard the story of a man who climbed the corporate ladder, working endless nights, making 6 figures. But when he finally got to the top, he realized his ladder was leaning on the wrong building. He had neglected his family, lost his peace, and sacrificed his health. His success became his burden. That is the weight of the wrong path. The truth is, the right path will challenge you, but it will not choke you. The wrong path makes you carry a weight that was never designed for your shoulders. Jesus himself said in Matthew 11 verses 28 to 30, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." If what you are carrying constantly drains the life out of you instead of giving you strength, it might be a sign you are walking where God never sent you. Sometimes the heaviest weight is not failure, but the silent realization that you are succeeding in the wrong assignment. Don't ignore the signs. God never intended for you to drag chains on your destiny path. He wants you to walk in a grace that matches your calling. The right weight will stretch you but also sustain you. The wrong weight will drain you until you are empty. So pause. Evaluate. Ask yourself, is this the burden of becoming, or the burden of breaking? That answer alone may show you if you are in the wrong path in life. Signs you are on the right path in life. 1. You have inner peace even in storms. Things may not be perfect, but your soul feels aligned. 2. Growth feels natural. You keep learning, improving, and becoming better, even if progress is slow. 3. Your circle shifts positively. You begin attracting people who push you higher instead of pulling you down. 4. Doors open with grace. Opportunities align with your preparation, and you no longer have to force everything. 5. You feel connected to something bigger. Deep down, you know your steps are ordered, and even setbacks carry meaning. So, at this point, if you recognize the wrong path signs, don't panic, that's your wake-up call. If you recognize the right path signs, don't relax, that's your encouragement to keep going. How to return to the right path. 1. Pause and reflect, stop running blindly. Take time to ask yourself, where am I, and where is God? 2. Seek God's voice, open the Word, spend time in prayer, silence distractions, and listen. Destiny is not discovered in noise but in stillness. 3. Seek wise counsel. God often speaks through mentors, pastors, and trusted voices. Don't walk alone. 4. Obey quickly. Once God reveals direction, don't delay. Delay makes detours longer. Obedience makes destiny clearer. Maybe you've been walking the wrong path for years. Maybe you feel like you've wasted time, wasted energy, wasted seasons. Hear me, with God, nothing is wasted. Every wrong step can still be used to guide you to the right place. The moment you turn back to Him, He realigns your path. You don't need to live in regret, you need to live in redirection. Remember this, it's not too late to change the road you're on. Wrong paths don't define you. right decisions can still redefine you. If this message spoke to you, don't just watch, act on it. Ask yourself today, am I really on the path God designed for me? If you were blessed, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Purpose Path TV, and share it with someone who might be silently struggling. Your one share could save a destiny. Until next time, walk in purpose, walk in faith, and walk in clarity. Thank you for listening to this speech. Your voice is the next we will include in this channel.